everyone, welcome back to my mixed media art therapy. I know it's been a hot minute since we were here, but I was away for 5 weeks in Vancouver, and now I'm back home and just getting everything together and getting back to normal and all that stuff. So without further ado, let's get going. So you know how I keep my journal. I hope you guys are using yours too. I love mine. It's getting all grunged up. And we did the affirmation cards in the last video, and I am, oh, they're all upside down, but they're all in here, and then on the back of some of them, I'm not completely done. You see, I am, sunshine and noon. So to go and see how we did these, I'll put the link to the video somewhere up here or there. I'm not sure how the cards work. We can tick that off in my book here. And the next thing I really want to do is this bird portrait distressed here. So I saw this in a Somerset Studio magazine, and it's from Somerset magazines. You know, they make all kinds of Somerset Life. They don't do that anymore, but it's right here on the cover, as a matter of fact. And if you can see the background with the mat on it is those old photo cardboardy things that they used to mat our pictures in when you got professional photos taken. And I managed to get my hand on some of those in a thrift store. This is one here. I had used it for another project, and so it looks like this. So what I'm going to do is remove this and remove these ribbons and start over again. Now, to get it to this distressed state, as you can see, I used vintage photo, and I spritzed water on, and that's what gave it those cool treatments. And then I stamped it with just, I use Distress inks, and I stamped it with that and then spritzed it with water to give it that old-fashioned watercolory look. And that's pretty much all I did to this. So that's what gave it that vintage look as opposed to just the straight cardboard. So that's the only thing that has been done to this before we get started. So hopefully you can find some of these even in your parents' or grandparents' old stash of pictures. They were all in these cardboardy. So I'm just going to get rid of these ribbons. They were glued on, but that's okay. Trash that. And save that drag button and get rid of this flower up here. And then we'll just start from there, and we'll see what I can do to repair what I'm messing up under here. But I'm sure it's just going to be a matter of sanding it a little bit. There, that's where I wanted it to be, like that. So I'll just add more distress ink, sand it up, and get it started. You're also going to need a picture of a bird. Now, I found this one that I got in a swap from someone years ago. It had tea in it. It says delight in the simple things. And so I was just going to use that, but this was a napkin. I can see how delicate this bird is. Can you see? It was a napkin on there. But I liked it because it looks like the Bohemian waxwings that come to our house all the time. Really like that birdie. And then also inside of this exact magazine that has the project, it says for the love of birds. And I thought being spring would be a perfect time to do this. I had all these scrap stuff. It came with, so cool. This is how they did theirs. I really love the archway of this molded paper or molded frame. So they add a little bit of lace and a little bit of ephemera down there and tinted script. and ribbon, and I think that might be metal. I'm pretty sure it is. But in this book, this is why I like these books so much. It says, can't bear to cut into some of your prized books? Here's a few bird images for you to cut out and use in your artwork. So they had all these birdies, and then they also had this scripted pinky paper that I think that was also in that one. Isn't that the coolest? I just thought really, really neat. And I believe this one's a little bit different than this guy. And I love how they use that ribbon, the old-fashioned satin ribbon. I love how they show it up here close. So yeah, so we can just go ahead and get started. So I'm going to set my phone up in the camera, and so I'm not wobbling around all over the place, and then we'll get started. Okay, I've just gotten started. I'm going to move this out of the way as well. And I took my Distress vintage photo and I spritzed it all around in there. And I want to use a piece of paper. These are photo frames. You can slide something in here. So I want to use a piece of paper inside of mine. So in the interim, I'm just going to stick this in here. I just don't want it to get too wet on the sides there. And I'm using a dilution spray that's almost empty. So it's going to be kind of watered down. And I still want to get that same effect that you get from, you know, vintage photo that's been wet. I love those. And I'm trying to get rid of a lot of the pinky flower. And I'll show you why in a second, because the paper I want to use is green. And I don't particularly want that flower there. I want mine to be displayed this way. So horizontally. So this is the way I want mine to be. And this is the paper that I want to put in there. This is a very, very old pad of paper from Colorbox. And then I have to choose my bird. I really like that one on the package, but I just honestly don't think I could get it off. But it just looks like those Bohemian waxwings so much. Unless I could just cut the paper out and just use it. There was another one in this pile too. I mean, there was that green one, but I don't want to use that on top of green paper. And what else was in here? The yellowy one. You know what? I'm going to use this one because it just reminds me of those Bohemian waxwings so much. You're going to try to keep those green leaves. I may not use them, but I'm just going to hang on to them just in case. Look at that. Along with everything else that I'm going to put on here. So I'm going to let this dry, and I'll be back. There, now my particular frame, I'll bring you guys up higher there. My particular frame has this on it. You know, these things. And it sticks in the back here, and then it stands up, which is why I want to do it horizontally or in portrait mode, which will be just fine. But you do yours however you want to. So I'm going to see, I'm going to slide this under the top piece here. There we go. I want to make sure I get those butterflies still, because I still want those. And as many, I think these are dandelions. Pretty sure they are. Yeah. There, see, that's what I want to keep. And if there's more to trim later, I will. And I will probably give this whole thing some gesso after to tone down the brightness of the green. And what I'm also going to do is pick at this and get the other layer, because there's 2 layers to this. And I know this was a napkin, but there's no need to have it as thick as it is. See what I mean? Yeah. So I will carefully tear them apart. Patience, patience, patience. Okay, so what you were looking at here is a conglomeration of things I found in my stash. I obviously am not going to use all of this. I'm certainly not using that. Don't know how it got there. But anyway, I found these really cool, they're just sticker badges of these 2 birds. I thought they might look kind of cool on there or at the park. Except that looked too much like a shamrock, so maybe not on that, but I like the bird ones. I found this music, and it says, murmur, 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 sweet, sweet songs. I love that. I was going to use this text, but I kind of like this one better. Then I found this beautiful lace that I'll put across down here somewhere, I think. Still not sure. I found this really pretty seam binding ribbon. I have a whole jar of it, so I haven't even gone through that yet. I want to use one of these 3 keys. Just not sure which one, but I've got 1, 2, 3, and then I had some little mini keys, but I don't think I'm going to use those. I have this. It says, reality has limits, imagination is boundless. That might look nice on the lace at the bottom. Perhaps. This lace I wanted to add to the top somewhere, or bottom or side or whatever, but I like the picot edging on it. I went outside and got this off of my grapevine, and I wanted to add it to the frame and then have it simulate coming down into this branch that's not real. Oh, there's more. Little burlap. Might use this. Oh, this this is what I was going to do with the music. That's right. I'm going to glue this onto an index card so it gives it a little bit of firmness, and then run it through my Big Shot and cut it out, and it's a bird cage. Love this. So yeah, that's that. I was trying to find some translucent paper or fabric, and I had tulle, but I didn't want that. I love this tissue, but I just wish it was more see-through, you know what I mean? But it's not. You can see, you can't see through it, but I'll probably still use some of it. And then I had some cheesecloth, which I, again, love the see-through effect on that. I just love that everything is muted behind it. And then there's still gesso I may use. And then I typed on the typewriter Bohemian Waxwing, which is the bird. So I may use this one because it seems to just fit, and put that at the bottom. And maybe the bird cage with the key beside it, you know, not sure. And is that it? And then, of course, gesso. So, yeah, that's all the stash I found. I had a whole bunch of these, but not this size was too small. So I'm going to go ahead and figure out what I want to do. I am going to gesso this up a bit, just a bit. You notice how that bird had a white spot on its wing? So I just took these new flesh tone markers from Stampin' Up. Look at them. Are they not fabulous? Let me show you them all. So I used one of the brown ones here just to touch that up a little bit. So, oh, there's one more I missed. So yeah, that's what's going on in my crazy brain right now. It's going to be a very, very pale whitewashy gesso, and mainly on that green, although I will include the bird a bit so it looks like he's been part of the whole original. So I used my Big Shot and that birdcage die, and I cut out my birdcage. All that I ended up getting was some notes. I thought I was going to get the little song and all that, but obviously not when you get rid of all the extra pieces that don't belong there. And I'm just going to lightly paint my birdcage. I'm going to water it down a little bit. I just have the brush that I just used to gesso. So I'm just gonna, I don't want too much. I want it really watered down. Ugh, it's too much. There, because I want to be able to see the notes through, the music notes through there. And the reason I'm using this color is because I found this keyhole. I love it because I had said I wanted to use a key, right? So I've got this key here. Maybe I should give this key a little bit of paint, seeing as I've got some extra right here. Might as well use it up. And this acrylic is strong enough that it should cover this key enough. There. I don't want anything 100% covered in paint. I want it to kind of look a little bit grungier. There. And then we've got the words here. Reality has limits. Imagination is boundless. So if I paint all that in there really well, get all the paint into those letters. So I'm like kind of stabbing it into the letter space. So then when you wipe away the excess paint, your hope is that the letters have soaked up enough of the paint that the words will come out the color. Yes. Can you see? The words come out the color that you're painting. I love when that happens. It really shows up wonderful in white. When you use a white paint or a gesso. But there you can see how that, let's turn this light down here so you can see better. So I ended up just gessoing it, and I love how it turned out. Just the gesso in the background to get rid of all that green. So now we're going to carry on playing around here. So the first thing I do is add some lace on the bottom here. And I think I'm only going to go right from this end to that end. Okay, so I have some idea of what I'm going to do. So while I build this, I am going to just put music on and you can just watch. And we'll go from there. Put my thingy and my word that says Bohemian Waxwing in here, and I actually looked it up and my bird looks pretty close. There's behind the ear of a Bohemian Waxwing, it's orange, and they have more black and white stripe up there, but it's very, very close to that birdie that I see all the time. And I'm going to hang this in my kitchen, which is where I see them all the time. Again, just going to rub some of that turquoise paint on it just to keep, all coordinated. Just a little. I love how fast acrylic paint dries. It's awesome. It's like using felt pens. Like it's literally dries, especially when it's just one or two. Yeah, this is dry. So cool. So let's rub a little off. There. I kind of like it, but the actual picture part could use a little. And I notice I splattered a little bit of that turquoisey, there's a flake of paint there, and I thought, oh, I don't want turquoise splatters on here. I thought I did, but then when I saw that there, I was like, nope, I don't, but I do know what I want on here. I know what splatters it is. Say it with me, class. Gesso. So let me get my really, really good splatter brush. A fan brush is the best splatter brush there is. So we're going to use that, some water and some gesso, and splatter white gesso all over this. There we go. And you probably noticed when I was splattering, I also touched up this with some gesso, the lace down here, down that paper, a little bit of the bird, because, it's all about continuity. And a piece looks much better when it looks like it's all connected to each other, as opposed to something you glued on later. So now I'm going to show you where I'm going to keep this. So it's dark outside, but this is the porch where we always see Bohemian waxwings. I'll put a little clip in here now of them when they come, because they eat off the tree that's right outside this door. It's a mountain ash bush. And so here I'm going to put my little ode to my Bohemian waxwings up here with my Maya Angelou Hallelujah cookbook. I don't know why it looks so close. Oh, there we go. And this little thing that says, choose people who choose you. But anyway, there it is. I love it. So cute, because it kind of gives me a little smile. It reminds me of my mom. She loved them so much when she'd get so excited. So anyway, that's the end of this video. And as always, stay tuned in if you want to hear this week's thoughts and meditations. And for everyone else, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye. So while I was creating this beautiful distressed bird display, and I couldn't help but focus on how wonderful it is to have a spring back in the air, to hear the birds sing when you open the windows, to watch everything resurface, regrow, just to experience the miracle of Mother Nature every year. I just revel in the beauty of life and the life cycles that we go through. We go through them as humans, and if we stay connected to the earth, we will find that in winter we tend to cover up, hibernate. It becomes a sense of darkness, and then we are so renewed, and our spirits are so renewed when the light returns. And it's a wonderful thing, and we should be forever grateful. We've all gone through some really incredible, serious times of late, and even if it wasn't COVID and the wars that is going on and the rising prices of gas and all of those things, just remember, a flower can only grow with mud and rain. And don't wait for someone else to bring you flowers. Plant some flowers and beautify your soul and someone else's soul. So let's just take a big deep breath in and blow it out. Just imagine you're smelling the most beautiful spring bouquet. In, lower your shoulders and blow it out. And one more, in and out. And I hope you have a beautiful week, and we'll see you all really soon. Bye.